Morning, dear students. We see Standard 7th Science Unit 5 changes around us. Many things we see in our life are changing. We see number of changes in our surrounding. Some of them are physical change and some of them are chemical change. Changes like boiling of water, drying of cloths, melting of ice cream, beating of metal, glowing of bulb, cutting of roots are some examples for physical change. Burning of coal, burning of candle, rushing of metal are some of the examples for chemical change. In this chapter, we will study about chemical changes, factors determining chemical changes, and the effects of chemical changes. Chemical changes. A chemical change is a permanent and irreversible change which produces a new substance. Chemical changes are otherwise called as chemical reactions because one or more substances undergo a reaction to form one or more new substances that is called as the products. So the reactants gives the products. Physical contact, solution of reactants, electricity, heat, light, catalyst or some of the conditions required for a chemical reaction. Chemical reaction based on physical contact. We experience many events in our daily life like burning of matchsticks on rubbing and iron metals turning into reddish brown. Why and how these changes happens? These changes are due to chemical reactions by contact in physical states. Combination of reactant in their naturally occurring states is referred to as contact in physical states. When dry wood comes into contact with fire, it burns with the help of oxygen to form carbon dioxide, which is given out as smoke. When a matchstick is rubbed on the sides of the matchbox, a chemical reaction takes place to form heat, light and smoke. When quicklime comes into contact with water, it forms lime. From the above reactions, we can conclude that certain chemical reactions takes place only when the reactants are brought in contact with each other in their physical state. The next one is chemical reaction based on heat. Food is important for our survival and also for the survival of many other living beings. Have you ever closely watched your mother cooking food? She boils rice, cooks vegetables and prepares gravy by heating them over stove. When enough heat is given, some chemical reaction takes place to convert the raw food items into cooked ones. Like this, in your laboratory, take a small amount of lead nitrate in a dry test tube and heat it gently over the flame. Observe the changes closely. You will hear cracking sound and an evolution of reddish brown colored gas. In industries, limestone rocks are heated to get quicklime. Hence, some chemical reactions can be achieved by supply of heat only. These reactions are called thermochemical reactions or thermolysis. The next one is chemical reaction based on light. What will happen if there is no sunlight? Yes, all the living organisms will be affected and there will be no food for us to survive, is it not it? Sunlight is important not only for us but also for plants. As you know, photosynthesis is a process in which light energy from the sun is used by plants to prepare starch from carbon dioxide and water. The sunlight induces the chemical reaction between carbon dioxide and water, which finally ends up in the production of starch. Thus, the chemical reactions induced by light are called photochemical reaction. The next one is chemical reaction based on catalyst. Have you ever questioned about why idli better prepared by your mother transferred into sour taste after a few hours? The answer for this question is fermentation. It is the chemical reaction in which a substance is decomposed with the yeast or by bacteria to produce simpler products. In the case of enzyme released by the yeast makes a reaction faster. Let us see what the yeast releases in the preparation of bread. Yeast is a type of fungus used in bread production. Yeast digests the carbohydrate in flour, producing carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide causes bread to rise. It also creates gas pockets in the dough, giving baked bread a spongy texture. At first, the yeast respires aerobically, but once it uses up the available oxygen, it begins to respire anaerobically. Sometimes you are advised by the elders to drink a small amount of warm water after a heavy meal. Do you know why? This is because warm water makes digestion faster. In industries, some chemical substances are used to speed up the chemical reaction. These substances are called catalysts. Preparation of ammonia. Metallic iron is used as a catalyst in the manufacture of ammonia using Haber process. This ammonia is the basic material for the production of urea, an important fertilizer in agriculture. In Vanaspati ghee preparation, finely divided nickel is used as a catalyst. The speed of certain reaction is influenced by the catalyst, and such reactions are called catalytic reaction. Enzymes and yeast are called catalysts. Effects of chemical reactions. When chemical reactions take place, there will be production of heat, light, sound, pressure, and also many other effects. Now we see about the biological effects. The first one is spoilage of food and vegetables. Food spoilage may be defined as any change that causes food unfit for human consumption. The chemical reaction catalyzed by the enzymes results in the degradation of food quality in the form of development of bad taste and color, deterioration and loss of nutrients. For example, rotten eggs develop a bad smell due to formation of hydrogen sulfide gas, decaying of vegetables and fruits due to microbes, rancidity of fishes and meat. Fishes and meat containing high levels of polyunsaturated fatty acids undergoes oxidation. It causes bad odor when exposed to air or light. This process is called rancidity. Next one is apples and fruits turn brown when cut. Why apples and fruits turn brown when cut? Apples and some fruits turn brown due to chemical reaction with oxygen in air. This chemical reaction is called browning. The cells of apples fruits and other vegetables contain an enzyme called polyphenol oxidase or tyrosinase. When it contact with oxygen, it catalyzes a biochemical reaction in which the phenolic compounds present in plants becomes brown pigment known as melanins. Next, environmental effects. Our environment provides air to breathe, water to drink, and land to produce food. Due to industrial processes and increasing number of automobiles, our environment is badly affected nowadays. So there is an unwanted change in the physical, chemical, and biological properties of the environment. This is termed as pollution. The substance which causes these changes are called pollutants. Now we see the types of chemical. Now we see the pollution, the effects. Air pollution that leads to rain, acid rain, global warming, respiratory problems. Water pollution leads to decreases in the quality of water, skin diseases. Land pollution leads to spoilage of land, cancer, respiratory diseases. Next one is tarnishing of metal articles. Shiny metal surfaces and other articles lose their shining appearance due to chemical reactions on the surface. For example, silver article become black when exposed to atmospheric air. Similarly, brass vessels which contain copper as one of the constituents develop a greenish layer when exposed to air for a long time. This is due to chemical reaction between copper and moist air to form basic copper carbonate and copper hydroxide. Next one is rusting. What happens to the steel benches and tables during rainy season? They turn into reddish brown, isn't? Do you know why? This is because when the iron metal come into contact with water and oxygen, it undergoes a chemical reaction called rusting. Production of light. Have you ever rubbed your palms in winter season to keep yourself warm? Have you noticed the heat produced when you see cycle pump? Chemical reactions also produce heat energy. Such reactions are called exothermic reaction. For example, when you add water to quicklime, lot of heat is released to produce lime. When a piece of magnesium ribbon is burnt in a flame, bright light is produced with heat. Even the fireworks used during festival times produce different colored lights, which are all due to chemical reactions. Production of sound. When we speak, sound is produced. When we speak, sound is produced. When you hit metals like iron, copper, a sound is heard. Some chemical reactions do produce sound when they take place. What happens when you fire crackers during Deepavali? The chemical substances present in the crackers undergo some chemical reactions to produce sound. For example, when metals like zinc or magnesium reacts with dilute acids, hydrogen gas is produced. Hydrogen gas is highly flammable. It reacts with oxygen present in air to produce pop sound. Production of pressure. When you compress hard a balloon having full of air, it will burst. This is due to sudden release of air from the balloon as a result of increased pressure on compression. Some chemical reactions produce gases which increases the pressure when the reaction takes place in a closed container. If the pressure level goes beyond the limit, we get the explosion. Explosives and fireworks burst because of this basis. When they are ignited, they explode due to pressure generated by gases from the chemical reactions. Thus, you hear a huge sound. Thank you, students.